Hello, it's me, Lucky, and welcome to the Nights of Lucky podcast. The podcast greater than anything since Swiss cheese. It's a running gag on my channel. I hate Swiss cheese. Well, I'm just sitting here in my obnoxiously squeaky chair. I swear, I'm being dead honest. One of these days, I'm gonna buy a chair that doesn't. A beanbag would be really nice, except it would sound like I'd be squeezing it into a pair of leather chaps every time I try and move. Dear God. Anywho, I'm sitting here, not wearing a shirt, and just my chill shorts, because I'm hot. I don't know if I've said this before. I probably have, but, I get extremely, extremely hot. I overheat. I'm not even kidding. I can literally just sit on the couch, and I'll look like I just ran, a 50-mile marathon. Just drowning in sweat. I just came out of the ocean, like David Hasselhoff in that, one SpongeBob movie. Didn't he get, on fire or something? I don't know. It's been a long time. I cried when Patrick and SpongeBob died. It's like the Infinity War of cartoon shows. Everybody dies and everybody comes back. Well, not everybody. Well, I don't know. It's a long story. Anywho, what are we going to talk about? Because let's talk about our feelings. No, I'm joking. We'll talk about feelings later. Because I probably... Did I? I think I need to get my pillow. I need to grab my pillow. Boy. There we go. It's my little Sombra pillow I have. Anywho, it's a wonderful time. If you hear my stomach gurgle at any point during this, just ignore it. This is the thing. I picked the worst profession to get into. I'm not kidding. No, I'm not saying I don't like this profession. It's just my body. It was the worst profession. Because, I sit in my chair, half the time I'm, sweating like a hog. Half the time my stomach sounds I haven't fucking eaten for 80 years. Ugh. It's a nightmare. It really is. But anywho. Let's talk about some stuff. Let's get into the nerd part of the podcast while I sip on my coffee. Tastes horrible, like dirty water. Who's the first person to invent coffee? Who was the first person to, make caviar? Who ate a bunch of fish eggs? Why? Why would you do that? That's so gross. Good grief. Anywho. Let's get into some Spider-Man stuff, because recently they dropped a little teaser trailer thing about the Spider-Mans. Excuse me. That's my I don't know. I drank a lot of soda. Anywho, basically they finally released a kind of a little sort of teaser trailer thing. It's like a 30-second. It's not like it showed actual footage from the film. It's just it basically was Tom Holland, Jacob Batalon, and Zendaya, all great actors, by the way. Basically, where they were it was hilarious because it's very tongue-in-cheek, obviously. They're spoofing on the fact that Tom Holland, he spoils literally everything. To be fair, he didn't spoil the ending of Infinity War like Mark Ruffalo. But No, the title is after, because basically, like, the day before they released it, they posted a bunch of, like, fake title names, and it was just destroying everyone. But eventually they released the trailer, and it's confirmed it's called Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, immediately that has like 50 different interpretations, because let's just lay out what happened basically in the last film of Spider-Man. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert for Far From Home, it's been like literally almost 2 years. So basically, and then the Far From Home, in the iconic ending, you know, it's now become iconic. Basically, Spider-Man gets blamed for like destroying like half of Europe, killing Mysterio, and he, for the first time, like, people have known his identity, like his friends, family members, some villains, other people and whatnot, co-workers, but they really haven't, like, I don't know if in any of the films anybody actually ever, like, said, like, oh yeah, this guy is Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Like, I don't think they ever released his identity like that in a film before. So it's like everybody's like, oh, his Spider-Man doesn't have, stakes. Are you serious? I mean, obviously Homecoming, I can forgive that, because that's a valid point. Like, basically all the stakes in that are, he gets his suit taken away. Other than that, not much. Then Marvel, being an expert, they were like, let's fix this in the next film. We see this is a problem, we'll fix it. So they literally gave him the most consequences possible. So now he's in a very desperate situation where he's stuck in New York, presumably. Because that's the thing, is we last see him when he's in New York when the information breaks. When J. Jonah Jameson, you'll have it, folks, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Dude, J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson. Perfect casting. I think that's honestly the most perfect casting for a comic book role ever. Like, good lord, man. That guy is a saint. He was great in Whiplash, by the way. But, no, basically, his identity is released, and now he's kind of in a difficult situation, because, like I said, presumably, because he is in New York, so presumably what is going to happen is that, essentially, probably, like, the entire world is going to be sending out, like, I would assume, like, Interpol or whatever they call it. Interpol is going to be after him. Probably the U.S. government, the cops, the NYPD, like, everybody is going to be gunning for this guy. And you also have supervillains that are going to pop up. I've talked about this. Okay, I need to close this window because I'm freezing. Why did I do this? It's February. Oh, that's right, because my body likes to make me suffer all of the time. Thank you, Mel Gibson. Oh, God. That's a joke. I'm full of jokes. Okay, back to it. So, basically, he's in a precarious situation. Because presumably now, how it would probably go is, because he's on, like, I think the island of Manhattan. And now the thing is, like, basically the NYPD is basically going to lock down the entire island, probably. So it's essentially going to be about probably, him being stuck somewhere in New York, and he literally can't get home. No way home. Because he lives in Queens. So that could be, the one of the interpretations, which I would say probably is the most likely. Another one is, like, he could totally be imprisoned and whatnot. Like, he could totally be in prison and he got captured. Like, he's Spider-Man, but, like, he's still kind of a kid, He's not exactly the most skilled Avenger. Like, don't get me wrong, he's, you don't want to mess with him, but, like, he's just one kid, he's one guy. So that's going to be kind of the situation now. It's like, how in the hell does this guy get home and whatnot? Because maybe he, like, gets captured and gets put, like, in prison, and that's how we see, like, the Vulture appear, and also Scorpion, who's going to be played by Michael Mando at some point. Because, you know, in Homecoming, he was one of the background characters and whatnot, that he was later confirmed to be Mac Gargan, who's known as the Scorpion in the comics. Which we've never seen in live action. We've seen him in, like, you know, obviously shows and, you know, games, particularly, most famously in Spider-Man PS4 recently. So, that's my stomach. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. It's a weird word. Gotta drink that. Gotta stay hydrated. But, no. But no, now he's gonna be in this rough situation where presumably these villains are gonna be coming after him. Because they are clearly, you know, leading up to the Sinister Six and whatnot. And that's what leads into the other interpretation, because if you didn't know already, a lot of rumors lately and announcements over the past year or so seem to be pointing that this is going to be kind of a Spider-Verse crossover thing. Because, like, I've covered this a couple times on the podcast, a lot of, you know, characters are supposedly returning. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man films, with Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy returning as well, reportedly somehow, and Tobey Maguire from the Raimi films, his version of Spider-Man, and MJ, you know, Kirsten Dunst from those films as well, and also villains from those universes. It's been confirmed Alfred Molina is coming back as Doc Ock. Reportedly, Willem Dafoe is coming back as Green Goblin, but that's more rumor stuff. But if I remember correctly, it's been confirmed that Alfred Molina is coming back as Doc Ock, and Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro from those different franchises. And even reportedly Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, Daredevil, you know, the man without fear. Which I am... Oh, if that is true, I will cry. If I see Matt Murdock fight alongside Tom Holland's Peter Parker, Charlie Cox, I'm just gonna die. I'll be like, you know what? I think I can die happy right now, you know? Well, actually, I gotta wait till they get Darth Revan back in, played by Keanu Reeves. Then I can die. But, no, reportedly he's coming back as well, so a lot of people are coming back. And this is reportedly tying in with the whole Spider-Verse films. You know, those I don't know if that was like a flood that just came through my house. I don't know. Somebody probably just, like, you know, turned on the water. I don't know. There are weird sounds in this house that creep me out. Like, this past week, this is a little bit of a tangent, I've been, like, getting this irrational fear, like every time I, like, close my eyes and go to sleep, like, I get the feeling, like, that's my stomach. You know, one of these days, I'm just gonna make a compilation of my entire stomach grumbling. I'm sorry, please forgive me, people. Just bear with me. If my stomach was a human being, I'd beat the crap out of it. I'd be like, why are you trying to ruin everything? Anywho, my anger is at, like, you know, half-mast or full-mast or whatever the term is. I'm not a genius. Anywho, no, I've been getting this irrational fear like people are watching me. Like, every time I like, go to bed, I'm like... I just get the worst feeling, like, ugh, it just creeps me out, you know? So, like, I'm not even kidding, like, 10 times a night, I will literally, like, open my eyes and look in my room and see if anybody is standing near me. This is why I have, like, weapons placed around my room. I got a knife next to my, bed. I got 2 Wolverine claws, real steel, metal. I got, hanging on my wall, I got a trench knife by my recliner. I got a tomahawk in my bookcase. I got a kunai rope dart knife in my bathroom. I got a Bowie knife in my cupboard, and a baseball bat and a recurved bow in my weight boxing room. And on top of the stairs, I have like a crowbar. So like if my mom or like my brother or whoever is upstairs, they can just grab that. It's like hiding on like a clothes rack, under a ugly hoodie that's way past its ears, So that's the exact I don't have like an irrational fear. Like I'm not paranoid, but it's just like, just for the 1% chance that somebody does break into my house, it's like, I should be covered. Because it's essentially like I have literally and in my little junk drawer, I got like a bunch of screwdrivers and, box cutters and stuff. So it's essentially like, it's good because it's like wherever, no matter where I am in my room, like there is literally like a weapon like a foot or two away. So if somebody does genuinely break in, like I can just like quickly grab it and be like, hey, why are you in my home? I don't have any well, actually, I do have Pop-Tarts. My grandma brought me Pop-Tarts last night. So technically this time, that's not a great analogy to use. Let's just say I don't have any more Twinkies. I don't buy Twinkies. My mom doesn't let me buy them because they have too much fat, and I gotta watch my fat because of my pancreas. I'm getting way off topic. Back to the Spider-Man stuff. But yeah, that's the other reason is that it's probably called No Way Home, is because it's been confirmed that Doctor Strange is showing up in this film. Madness in the multiverse kind of ties into it. So that's kind of probably how they're going to bring in, all these characters. Charlie Cox from the Netflix shows, which were never, like I said before, I think, they never really were canonized. Like, because that was the thing, is they were owned by Marvel, but like it was in this separate, like there was like Marvel Studios and Marvel TV. They were like these kind of separate things where they were like sort of loosely tied to it, but never really confirmed to be canon, So it's kind of weird, But that's probably how it's going to tie in as well, because he's going to be in that film, and Spider-Verse deals with, obviously, multiple different versions of Spider-Man. So he could literally get, I don't know if they're going to be able to put, the whole, like, Spider-Man's being chased by everyone, by his supervillains in Spider-Verse stuff, all in the same film. But to be fair, it's Marvel. They literally created the biggest franchise, even bigger than Star Wars at this point, in literally like under a decade, like they went hardcore. They're like top of the box office, top in the world. They're huge. So it's probably going to tie into that as well, because I think Marvel, they don't let Sony get too crazy with stuff, because we all know when Sony has big ideas and they shove stuff in a film, it doesn't end well. That's why, you got to give Marvel credit, is they know how to deal with multiple different characters and storylines and different things. Like, they have got that on the dot at this point. So they could pull it off. So, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do all that in one film. But, excuse me. Infinity War and Endgame were pretty nuts, so, but, the prospect of seeing all these characters, these different versions of Spider-Man and his love interests and their villains and possibly Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock Daredevil. I'm sorry, I love Daredevil too much, dude. I am so emotionally tied to that show. I don't know if I told it before, but like, Daredevil means to me a lot. He means a lot to me, because, he's famously, Matt Murdock was blinded at a young age. And, he just proves that, like, hey, if you have a disability or mental illness or health issues or something going on with you or something on you in your life or something you just have and whatnot, you can still go out and make a life for yourself. He became a very successful lawyer, the most successful lawyer in the Marvel Universe and one of its greatest heroes. So, me having my health problems and stuff teaches me, like, hey, you can go out and be a voice actor. So he means a lot to me as a character, but also I just love those shows. He is Daredevil, he is to Daredevil what, RDJ is to Iron Man and what Hugh Jackman is to Wolverine. He is Matt Murdock and Daredevil. So yeah, he's fantastic. That's my stomach again. It will not stop grumbling. Good Lord. I could wake, like, this is why I could never be like a spy. Doing spy stuff, like, under the radar, all quiet, like. I couldn't, because, like, I'd, like, go behind enemy lines and you'd just hear, like, and they'd be like, there he is! Fire on that position! I'd be like, fudge. I'd be like, well, great. Can't make it as a voice actor, can't make it as a spy. Wonderful. Anywho, but yeah, that's kind of how the other title works in, and, it seems like, because apparently, like, Tom Holland has said multiple times, like, this is the most ambitious standalone superhero film ever made, which, I mean, given all the stuff they've announced, I'm not really surprised by that. Like, if all of these rumors are true, or at least most of them, praying Charlie Cox comes back, like, if it's all true, like, dude, this is nuts. But, I'm excited for it. But No Way Home has many different interpretations. But, Peter Parker is basically going to be in probably his greatest trial as of yet, Essentially, like, trying, because he's going to have to fend off he's probably going to be either stuck on some different Earth or on Manhattan, can't get back home to Queens with Aunt May. Like, he's stuck on Manhattan. He's being chased by, Interpol, the NYPD, supervillains, J. Jonah Jameson, and whatnot. Then he's probably going to have to deal with some type of multiverse stuff. So it's going to be crazy, though. But I'm definitely excited. It is, next to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the thing I'm looking forward to the most. I really, really am excited. And another little thing to add on to this to move on. Apparently Tom Holland has said that this last Spider-Man film, this third one, and this cameo or, like, small role in some other superhero film, once these two films are done, his contract is up. Now, don't panic, because he said once this is up, like, he wants to travel the world and take a little break for himself, which I don't blame the guy. Like, he has been going hardcore at this he probably filmed, like, in 2015 for Civil War, so, like, this is, like, 7 years. Right? No, 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. You're an idiot, man. Yes, I know, I suck in math. But no, it's been going on for, like, over half a decade now, like, and that's just MCU stuff. Like, he's been in Civil War, Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, Far From Home. Now he's doing all this Spider-Man 3 stuff, and then he's going to be in this other film, which I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting. But I don't think anyone should panic, like, oh, he's never going to come back, or he's not going to get, like, don't worry. it's pretty clear Marvel and Sony at this point realize, like, hey, people like this character, we're making tons of money, we're making good films, we should probably stick to this. Because if you remember, famously, when he left the MCU, everybody was in a flipping panic. I'm not even kidding. My heart literally stopped when I saw the news that he's leaving the MCU. Like, I got so depressed. I'm not kidding. Like, I started watching Spider-Man edits and whatnot, and I broke down because I was like, I love this character. I love him interacting with all these other characters. Like, it really is, he feels at home in the MCU, you know? It really does feel like he has this camaraderie, this charisma, you know, he bounces off other characters. It's made for him. He really does feel like this really is the right place for him, you know? And it seems like, I think, at this point, Sony and Marvel kind of realized that. And they're like, we should probably keep this thing going, because last time everybody got a little mad. So I wouldn't worry about this. I think they've said that they want to continue making these, if I remember correctly, and, you know, money talk, so I would not worry about this. He's just going to take a little break for a while. And, yeah. So as for what other film he's going to be in, I don't know. Some people have said, I heard some people were like, what if he was in a Fantastic Four film? And I was like, that's actually a really good idea. Because, like, famously, he, you know, Venom, supposedly they're going to cross over, like, with the Spider-Verse characters, and, you know, like, Morbius, Venom, Carnage, and stuff like that. And famously, you know, one of the most famous comics, I think it was Secret Wars. It was the 1980s one, I think. I'm going to move my mic. Secret Wars was essentially where a bunch of, like, superheroes basically were sent to this place called Battle World, and they fought each other. And Spider-Man was fighting there, and his suit got damaged, and he went over to this, like, machine to, like, see if it could fix his suit and whatnot. And he touched it, in this, like, black material and whatnot made him a new suit, and that's how he got the black suit and whatnot. Then later, once he got back on Earth and whatnot, I'm gonna shut that. Hold on. It's so annoying. Okay, back to it. But back to it, like, then after he got home from Earth, he went to the Fantastic Four and asked, because he thought it was this suit was like this nanotech stuff and whatnot. And he went to the Fantastic Four and he was like, hey, what is this stuff? And Reed Richards took a look at it and was horrified because he found out it's not some nanomachine suit. It's literally a symbiotic alien that is literally attached to this guy. Like, he was literally living with a parasitic alien goop on his body. And famously, he went to the Fantastic Four to get help to get it off. So maybe if he's gonna cross over with Venom, this is maybe how they could kind of do, like, the black suit storyline, you know, which would be pretty cool, honestly. You know, we haven't seen the black suit on film since 2007 with, you know, Spider-Man 3. So that would actually be kind of cool. And now that the fact that, you know, the Fantastic Four film has been announced, funnily enough, the guy who is going to direct that film is John Watts, who directs the MCU Spider-Man films. He'll be directing No Way Home. And he directed the previous two ones, which I'm a huge fan of him as a director and his version of Spider-Man films. I love, you know, the whole John Hughesian 1980s kind of vibe. It's got Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, that was literally, they parodied that. They made a direct reference to that in Homecoming, so I love his version of Spider-Man. You know, a lot of people are like, I don't like it because it's not Uncle Ben, and I totally understand, you know. But the thing I'm glad about it is they did something new and different, you know? Like, I would be upset if they just did the same thing again, because that's the thing, is like, you can't really please everyone, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't like it, it doesn't mean you're wrong and whatnot. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or this or that, obviously, but like, you really can't please anyone. People are going to hate it, people are going to like it. And there's nothing wrong with either. But I know for a fact that, because some people have hated this version because it's like Iron Boy Jr., which, to be fair, there is a bit of an argument there, but I like that they're doing something completely fresh and new and different. Because, like, I know for a fact that if they went ahead and kind of did the same thing again, like the whole Uncle Ben, kind of those kind of points, I know for a fact everybody would like, why aren't they doing anything new? We've already seen this with all this stuff. Why didn't they do something fresh and different? We need original ideas here. I know a lot of people would react that way. So you can't really please everyone, you know? Besides, like, you could try new things, do new original ideas, because I saw a comment yesterday that was like, that is actually a really good point. Is like, why would they try to do, like, top the Raimi stuff? Why would they do the whole Uncle Ben and previous things we've seen before? The more, basically, people are, like, griping because this version of Spider-Man isn't as accurate to the comics as other versions, which that's the point this guy raised. It was like, why would you ever try to top, like, the Raimi stuff? Like, try and do a more accurate Spider-Man? Because, like, Raimi did the most accurate version of Spider-Man on film. So why would you ever try that again? Because you are never, ever, ever going to top making, you know, the Raimi films, because they were the most accurate Spider-Man films to the comics. So why would you ever try to top that? Because you're never going to beat the Raimi films, because they are the pinnacle of Spider-Man accurate films to the comics. So, like, it's like trying to top God, essentially, you know? So it's like, it really is like, why would you ever try that? It's like, do something new and different. So that's a little tangent, little rant. This is me being a nerd. But, yeah. So, spoiler alert, I'm not going to do a reaction series because I don't know how to do that stuff yet. So I'm going to try and do a reaction series for Falcon and the Winter Soldier when that comes out in a couple weeks. But for now, I won't get into that. But you know what? Let's switch things up for a little bit. I want to talk about one thing, some new, because you know me, this podcast, like most of it, is just nerdy comic book, you know, just any pop culture stuff. You know, I love pop culture. So there's some news yesterday that broke that reportedly there is going to be a Superman reboot, reportedly. So let's see. There is reportedly a new Superman reboot coming out. I can't. Okay, here we go. Found it. So basically, there is gonna be a Superman reboot by a man by the name of, I'm not comic book author, Ta-Nehisi Coates. I think I pronounced his name correctly. He is a Black Panther author. He's worked on, you know, Black Panther, Captain America. So reportedly he's going to write the script for it. And I think J.J. Abrams is going to direct, which that's been a rumor for quite a while, that, you know, J.J. Abrams was going to direct, you know, a film. And reportedly, they want Michael B. Jordan to play Superman, which was also a rumor a long time ago. Which I don't mind. I like him as an actor, but personally, like many other people, we're like, is Henry Cavill gonna be in this? Because we're like, we love Henry Cavill. A lot of people do. Personally, he's my favorite Superman next to Christopher Reeves and George Newberg. He's honestly, I would say, the best live-action Superman since Christopher Reeves, I think he is the number 2. I actually watched a bunch of Man of Steel clips this morning, which I love that film, by the way. It's amazing. But, yeah, a lot of people are like, is he coming back? Because it doesn't seem like it. Because reportedly, with the new Flashpoint film that's coming out, it's going to basically, kind of retcon and, wipe away a lot of that stuff. So, essentially, the whole, early DCEU Zack Snyder type stuff is going to be kind of rewritten and rebooted with this new Flashpoint film. So there will be, different versions of these characters we've known. So it sucks because I love Christopher Reeve. Wrong guy. Henry Cavill as Superman. He's fantastic in the role. He just fits it perfectly. And, he has been I would love to come back. Just literally, I will come back and do anything. And I think last year, reportedly, he was reported that he was going to come back for a couple roles in the DCU. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's sad because a lot of people liked Henry Cavill, including me. So, yeah, I don't know. That's my stomach. But, I don't know. I really don't know. But, they're both talented guys. J.J. Abrams is, he's a good director for the most part. This guy, he is also, he's written some great stuff, for Black Panther and Captain America. He's, a fantastic writer, so. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to have Henry Cavill come back, but I pray that we do. Because, I love the guy. He's fantastic. And, so. Yeah, but anywho. Another thing that I saw there is reportedly also a Halo TV show coming out for Paramount Plus, which is a streaming service. So, yeah, I literally just heard about this yesterday. It's going to be airing in 2022. I'll read some stuff on it. First quarter of 2022. It's going to be one of their big shows. But, yeah. So, it seems like there isn't too much about it. So, okay, blah, 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 It's a prequel to the games. Okay, so it's a prequel to the games, so maybe, some Reach stuff, possibly? that'd be cool if they tied it into that, which is, it's my favorite Halo game, and many other people's. It's probably known as, next to 3, it's probably the best Halo game. So, you know, although I'm a huge Halo 2 fan. So it's basically going to follow Spartans. I don't know if we're going to see Master Chief, because it's a prequel to the games, but I don't think it says... Okay, it's going to be in the 26th century. I'm not a big... Like, I love Halo, but, like, I'm not the most, like, I don't know too much about it. Or what do I mean is, like, I'm not deep into the games and lore and stuff, so I don't totally know about that. But I would assume they would all, you know, be like, you know... Okay, here we go. It's been filming for ages. It's going to have, I think, Catherine Halsey, who is famously, she created the AI Cortana. She also did, like, the Spartan Project and whatnot. There's going to be, like, Miranda Keyes. You know, so Jacob Keyes, too. So, yeah, that'll be cool. There are going to be a bunch of different, like, Spartans and whatnot, obviously. There's going to be, you know, obviously, whoa. Okay, so apparently, there's going to be a character that was a human, like a human kid that got raised by Covenant members. So, that's crazy. I don't think that's ever, from what I know, that's never been in Halo lore or anything, so, you know, but, yeah, that's the thing is, it's reportedly coming out in a couple years, next year, sometime early next year, hopefully, and, yeah, it's gonna be kind of a prequel to the films. I think if they do it, that's the thing, is, like, video game, like, shows and movies in recent years have actually been starting to get good. Like, The Witcher TV show was more based on the books, but essentially it was based more on the books, but, you know, it kind of, I'm like, my brain is mush. It was more based on the books, but also was kind of inspired by the games. That was, and it was actually pretty decent. Like, it's not a masterpiece, but, like, overall it's a solid start, you know, for a jumping off point for a show. You know, Detective Pikachu was fantastic. You know, like, Sonic the Hedgehog last year was actually surprisingly good, you know, so, and, you know, there's an Assassin's Creed show coming out on Netflix, yeah, as well as a Resident Evil show, or there's, like, an animated show or movie and a live action film as well. So video game properties are being adapted into, you know, movies and shows now, quite a bit, you know, because they honestly actually are getting better, surprisingly. But yeah, I'm excited. I honestly think if they do it right, they get the right talent, you know, they can pull off, you know. Like, I don't think it's impossible. If you really, really, really do it right, you can get it done. So, you know. It's me burping. I did it on purpose that time. I'm a goof. Okay. And we will touch on WandaVision. Just the latest episode of WandaVision, so spoilers for all the episodes of WandaVision, including the newest episode, which came out yesterday, episode 8. Spoiler alert. If you have not seen the newest episode of WandaVision, episode 8, click off now. And whatnot. So, yeah. Basically. I'll put, like, a link in the thingy, so when to skip ahead. So skip ahead to, I'll put it in the description just so you don't get spoiled, because I don't want to spoil it. But skip ahead to said point and whatnot in the description when, and I'll be done talking about that. We'll get into the, like, submitting your questions part. So, I just want to touch on this just a teeny weeny bit. So, basically, in the last episode of WandaVision, we figure out that a numerous amount of things. That first of all, we figured out that Hayward's events of what Wanda did was a lie. He basically lied. That Wanda never broke into the sword facility and took Vision's body. That was a lie and whatnot. He basically let her talk to him and, say her, goodbyes and whatnot and leave. And he tried to, like, bait her in to be like, hey, like, you have the ability to bring people back to life and whatnot. I'll get into that in a second. Trying to bait her into bringing Vision back to life and whatnot. But she didn't do it, I guess. So she left, then she went to West Virginia, went to Westview, saw Vision, wanted to buy a home and live out the rest of his life with her, and went crazy and with grief and created Westview and all of this. Then we figure out that the Vision inside of Westview wasn't Vision's body. Because at this point, we had assumed that she was puppeting around his dead body the entire time. But it's been confirmed now that basically Sword had Vision's body the entire time and whatnot. Because they were working on the secretive project. I'll get into that in a second and whatnot. And it's been confirmed now that the Vision we saw inside of Westview was basically Wanda had literally created Vision out using her, chaos magic powers and whatnot she got from the Infinity Stone. Because we now found out that she was exposed, when she was being experimented on by Hydra, she got exposed to the Mind Stone, and that's how she got her powers. And she saw this premonition of this mythical Scarlet Witch. Because essentially, like, what we had found out was that apparently a Scarlet Witch is this mythical figure. This sort of being that can literally spontaneously create life and whatnot. Just out of thin air with this chaos magic. And we later learned that apparently Wanda is that being. She is the Scarlet Witch. Either she is the first one or she is like the next in line. She's the new Scarlet Witch that's on the block. And that Mr. Sunday Movies pointed out very well. He put it very well. It's like Agnes originally just came here because she was like, hey, I feel this magical power stuff. I want power. And came here to Wanda just expecting like, yeah, it's just some power and whatnot. And, like, he famously, he perfectly put, like, he essentially said, like, she found out, basically, she found out that this was a lot worse than she thought it was. Like, this is way above her pay grade. Like, this is some bad stuff. Because, like, it's just, man, the Scarlet Witch is just known, like, she's known in the comics for being one of the most powerful people in the universe, in the Marvel universe. And in the show, or in the MCU, we've never really had any extended time to see Wanda and her powers and the lengths of her powers. Because she's been, a fairly solid figure, hero and whatnot. But, she's never really had any time to show off everything. So we literally don't know what the extent of her powers is. That's my stomach. It's growling. And it growled. But, yeah. So, apparently, she is this Scarlet Witch, this mythical, like, almost godlike figure. And this is not good. Like, this is getting bad. Because, like, Scarlet Witch has been kind of on this sort of, like, I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but like, what I've been thinking is like, we are racing towards a brick wall right now with Wanda, because she is having a lot of trouble with her mental state. She's very unstable. She cannot take loss. She doesn't want to lose her kids or Vision. And if she does, she will snap and go crazy. Because it seems like they might be setting her up to be a future villain. Because she was a villain in the comics. But she's been kind of a hero so far. Like, she started out as like a minor henchwoman villain. Then she kind of became a hero, but now she seems like she's kind of going towards the villainous part. She's in pain, obviously, but like, she's kind of becoming villainous and whatnot. So it's not good. And we now figure out what the heck Hayward's game plan was. Is that his game plan was that essentially what he wanted is he wanted Vision's body to basically bring him back to life and make him a weapon again. Because at this point in time in the MCU, the world is realizing, like, yeah, we kind of got our butts kicked. We are completely unprepared when Thanos came in Infinity War and just cleaned house. And they're totally unprepared for this stuff. So they're like, we need heroes. We need people that can deal with these problems, you know? Like, we need something, weapons, tech, heroes, and villains that can stop something like this from happening again. And Vision's, he's known for being literally the most advanced, like, AI, robot, android on the face of the earth. And Vision's body is literally, I think they said it's like worth $4 billion of vibranium. Like, it's extremely valuable and important. And we figure out his game plan the entire time was he wanted to essentially she baited Wanda into, by sending that drone in, he wanted Wanda to get that drone, come back outside, throw it out, hopefully transferring some of that energy from Westview and whatnot into the drone, where they can use that drone to power up Vision's body. Because they rebuilt Vision, I'll get into that in a second, and it's my stomach, I can't, I'm sorry, it's like the 50th time, just ignore it. But no, they wanted to power Vision's body up and whatnot, but it just wouldn't work. They literally tried everything, every power source on the face of the earth, nothing would work. And they figured out Wanda's magical energy would power it. So now what they've done is because they had Vision's entire body, his body the entire time, they finally rebuilt him and created the White Vision. He is now the White Vision. The White Vision from the comics is known as, I'm not too familiar with him, but it's essentially, the White Vision is when Vision got kidnapped and had his mind and memory wiped and whatnot, where he became this cold, emotionless, destructive killer robot, basically. And now they have brought him to life, but the question, it's clearly not going to be good Vision, not the Vision we know. So I don't know who it's like. I don't know if it's just going to be Paul Bettany and being like, I have no emotions, I don't care. They're telling me to fight you, I'm going to fight you. What I'm wondering is, are they going to bring Ultron back? Is this how they bring Ultron back? Because, like, famously, I think a couple years back they announced there was this weird, like, VR game that was tied into the MCU where Ultron came back and whatnot, that they were planning to do in, like, parks and places across the world and whatnot for a while. And it was canon, like, and basically Ultron had come back to life. So is this, like, kind of like their way of doing that? Because that's the thing, is when you think about it, it's like, how did he get who is the operating system? Because Jarvis is dead, Vision is dead, at least the Vision in that body, he's gone, he's whacked, so, like, there's literally no AI on the face of the earth that could do that. Like, and what I'm thinking is, like, it could entirely be possible that somehow Sword got a hold of one of those Ultron bots. Because basically, at the end of Age of Ultron, they kill all the robots, but when you think about it, it's like, do you really think that Ultron, even though he's kind of an idiot at times, like, it would make sense that he would have some kind of tiny contingency plan, that if all goes completely wrong, somehow he survives in some way. And it's possible, because in Homecoming, when Spider-Man is in damage control, he's looking through a bunch of junk, and he finds literally one of those Ultron bots, one of the heads of those things, and it's on. The eyes are still red and glowing. So, and if I remember correctly, it's like the Ultron bots, when they're dead and not working, their eyes go out, their eyes aren't glowing and whatnot. But when they're dead, their eyes aren't glowing. So, but when they're alive and working, their eyes are like blue or red. So it's like, that means that head probably is still on and operating in some way, shape, or form on some level. Even though Vision shut him out from the internet, if Sword got a hold of that and that was still working at some point, they could easily reprogram that stuff and boot it into White Vision. And that's how we finally get the Ultron version of Vision that we were supposed to get in Age of Ultron. So it's possible that's how we get that. But this also leaves the opportunity that if somehow they can, because we have the good Vision, like the actual spirit and heart of Vision that Wanda created and whatnot in Westview. And we also have this body, this newly fixed Vision body. If they defeat him, they could put Vision's personality, his spirit, into that body, and that's how we finally legitimately get Vision back. So, I'm excited to see what happens next episode. And supposedly, next episode is the last episode, supposedly. I've heard that maybe there's a 10th, but it's probably the next episode is the last episode. And reportedly, Paul Bettany and others have said that Quicksilver wasn't the big cameo of the season. There is still a huge cameo that's going to change the MCU and whatnot, the way we look at it, in the next film. I think it's guaranteed that Doctor Strange pops up at some point, so maybe him, but considering it's the MCU, like, seeing him pop up, it would be cool, but, like, that's not necessarily the craziest thing, because it's like, we've seen him before, and they always cross over and stuff. So I think it's maybe going to be someone completely new, but I don't know. We still have a lot of questions, what's the thing up with Pietro? Who is he really? Who is the rabbit? Is Agnes working for someone? Is Ultron coming back? And we now know that officially Wanda is the Scarlet Witch, and for the first time in the MCU, we've heard her been called that. So, but that's enough comic book stuff. That's like an hour. So let's breeze through a couple questions here and wrap this up, Nailed it. Let's wrap this thing up and blow this popsicle stand, as they say. Yes, that's my stomach. I hate it just as much as you all do. Okay. Let us read. Okay, let's read some stuff. I got a new audio out, by the way, and a bunch of new content on my Patreon, so go check that stuff out. Alrighty, here we go. Why and how did you get so amazing? I don't know. It's natural. It's very natural. I was born this way. Excuse me. I have this effect on people, apparently. No, I don't know. I'm not amazing. I'm just some dumb farm boy from Kansas. Anywho, thank you for that question, though. Am I feeling better? Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, about as fine as I can get, really, but yeah, I'm doing better. I've kind of calmed down a bit. Why do I help people? Or do you feel like you need to? No, I want to help, you know. I like helping, you know. If I can help some people out in the world, you know, hey, all the better. You know, so I just want to help people, honestly, you know. Am I in college? Hell no, I am not. I am not in college. College was never that thing for me, you know. It's just like some people just, it's not made for them. And college was just never that thing. I wasn't the whole kind of independent, on my own, halfway across the country, studying this and that kind of guy. That was just never in the books for me. Maybe in the future if I don't know. If I need to go study stuff, but no, I'm not. An audio about asthma. That's a good one. I'll write that down. Hold on. Boop. Where's my pen? There we go. It's a good idea. Where is it? Here we go. It is now. I will do one. That's actually a really good idea. So, good idea. I'll do one. If I could change one thing in my life, I don't know. I guess just not being sick. Not being all sick all the time. Like my pancreatitis, if I could have one wish, it would be to make sure I never had that. Take that away. But, you know. Do I wear glasses? No, I do not. My brother does. Although my vision is kind of crappy. I'll admit. Like, I can see stuff up close. I don't know what they call it. Is that nearsightedness or farsightedness or short-sighted? I don't know. Whatever the one where you can see up close very well, but you can't at a distance. At a distance, like a couple feet away, just words and things are blurry. Like, I'm not kidding. It's like I'm looking at this little, like, My Hero Academia tiny, like, poster thing, and I can barely read My Hero Academia, and it's like a couple feet away from me staring at it. Yeah, my vision is not great. I mean, for the most part, it's okay, but it's just at a distance, I just cannot see. It just, everything goes blurry. Which Marvel villain would I want to be a sidekick to? Bucky Barnes. Das Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier. Which I will do in audio soon, leading up to Falcon and Winter Soldier. It'll be kind of like a little bridge between Endgame and that show. So, that'll be cool. Yeah, what's my favorite color? Mahogany. Yeah, mahogany. I'm not kidding. It's a rich mahogany. Yeah, I like mahogany. I like it. It's a nice little color. How long have I been doing these type of videos, like ASMR? I started in late November of 2017. So I've been doing this for, almost like for 3.5 years almost by now. So, quite a while, actually. Why do I love ASMR? I don't know. I just like, voice acting. I like making audios and creating stuff. It's just a fun job, you know, getting a voice act for things. It's fun, honestly. Like, I enjoy doing it. It's not like, you know, like I hate this job. It's something fun, you know. Really is something fun. Can you all give me hugs? Yes. Yes, you can. But, yeah. So, that's my stomach. Well, that's pretty much everything. So, yeah, I want to thank everybody for giving me their questions and listening to this nerdy podcast where I talked about many things. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, take care. So, I'll be posting stuff on my Patreon and on YouTube. I am back to my normal schedule. So, stuff on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Content on both Patreon and YouTube. So, I'll be posting stuff on all that stuff. So, stay tuned, check it all out, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. All right, you want to say goodbye, Mr. Stomach? Okay. Say goodbye. There you go. There you go. He said goodbye. Would you want to say something else, That's what I thought. Chicken. Anywho, take care. Peace. Boop. 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 Why is this technology, am I right? There. All right. Goodbye.